The next stage is to implement a series of community workshops that involve informational presentations, interactive exercises, and facilitated dialogues to identify community goals and values.
The first workshop has run in a lot of different formats. In one, for instance, we gave people information about what transit-oriented development was like. Another one we actually held in a farmer's market over 2 weekends and had people voting with dots about what they'd like to have in terms of redevelopment areas in their communities. So really what the first one is trying to do is give people information and also give them a chance to start to express their opinions about what kind of development they'd like to have happen. And we can use those opinions to help focus the second workshop, the block exercise.
There are blocks on the table, and these are blocks that are built to the same scale as the map that's on the table. So they fit on the map.
The block exercise came from trying to make it more physical and real to people. It's hard sometimes just to look at a picture or even to look at financial figures, which we had given them in the first exercise, and kind of relate that to places they know.
And then you can build a lot more floors and the per unit cost goes down.
We have a large-scale map that's been blown up from an aerial photograph. We've built blocks that are typical units, and people use these building blocks to create the massing of a building that they like. Then we quickly sketch it and run the numbers and figure out whether it will break even and what it would look like.
So 1 million short with your first design.
The block exercise just wouldn't work without the development pro forma, the number crunching part of it, because there's a lot of great visions out there, but not all those visions can get built. And what the development pro forma does is it makes people much more realistic and knowledgeable about what developers are up against.
I was envisioning like a courtyard in the middle there too that you have.
It gives the neighborhood a way of experimenting with different design options and figuring out what can break even.
What people discover is how hard it is to get development to work, and how density and affordability can be used as tools to fill financial gaps.
So the block exercise has kind of opened them up to understanding about the needs of the developers, and then this introduces them to actual developers and business owners who are facing those challenges, and they can ask much more sophisticated questions. And they're also open to hearing that things might be challenging in that neighborhood, and to really engage with those problems in a way that can move them towards problem solving.
One of the value adds that the Corridor Housing Initiative brings to the table is this set of products or deliverables that you can then use as you move forward in development in your community. So I think the community development guidelines are something that really is a tangible, useful tool that you walk away with after you participate in the Corridor Housing Initiative.
Some of the final products for the Corridor Housing Initiative might include a formalized set of development objectives that a city or a community could use to approach interested developers. It could be an educational setting to prepare for a small area planning process that a city might undertake. It might be an opportunity to create a training workshop to take their plannings to the next level for development.
A year ago, a development that was proposed on a site received tremendous opposition. After the Corridor Housing Initiative process, everyone is coming to the table with a shared vision.
We believe that building relationships, building a sense of capacity, of building respect for one another, of creating a process where something really good happened when there were really differences of opinions at the table, then people have this experience of problem solving, of creation, of working together in a new way, and that's something that's sustainable even longer than a particular building project.
And I think that's what's so exciting, is to see that when you take all these different viewpoints from people, you can come up with something better than any one of us can do. So I've loved the product that I see out of it, which is a new vision for the neighborhood. But more than anything else, I love the fact that at the end of the day I can say that's not just the view of one person, that's the view of a community and people who are highly invested in making sure that that area works well.
It's a fundamental right, I would say, for people to be involved in shaping the place where they live.
Development is a very complicated process, and there are a lot of different competing interests. And I think that the Corridor Housing Initiative can really come in and help everyone navigate that complicated system.
This process and its interactive components really create a space where people can hear a whole range of voices and ideas for what the community needs and what people would like to see happen.
It's very uplifting to be for something. It's a little more draining to be against everything. So it's really an opportunity to move beyond no, to have a stake in the future of their community in a very positive way, to actually make things happen, not just keep things from happening. And so I think it's a very empowering thing.
CHI is about knowledge, and knowledge is about power. I mean, knowledge is power. If we're going to build communities that are going to last as positive places to live and work for the next 100 years, 150 years, then we have to get that knowledge, and CHI is about trying to get that knowledge into the heads of as many people as possible.
When you really think about the importance of that here through this initiative we're putting in your hands the power to say this is where I want my community to be, not just 2 years, but 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road. Here's how I want my community to grow so my children can be here, or so my friends can grow old here, or so new people can come into this community and give more vibrancy. That's amazing power.